Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by RFA Welterweight Mike Rhodes. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. Mike, you got a fight coming up at RFA 8 on June 21st. How's training been going for the fight?
Training's been going good, man. I stepped it up a notch for this fight and added some high-caliber strength and conditioning coaches out at Next Level. That's where my teammates Andy, Eric, Sergio, all of our big name guys who fight at a high level, they all train there. So I just added that and, just turned up things at the gym and sparring and rolling and everything like that. So I'm ready to go.
Now, you put out a video. It's listed on YouTube as the Mike Biggie Rhodes RFA 8 spoof. You put out that video. You're wearing a Bane mask. You're talking a little bit about your opponent. Just curious, what inspired you to put out this video?
Actually, that Bane line, Eric Thomas, he's known as the hip-hop preacher. He came here and he gave us, four fighters, a speech before Anthony and Eric and Pascal's fight in Chicago. And he used that Bane line, to reach us, to let us know that we have to get to this dark place before we go to the fight. And so that line has all been in my head, and watching the movie over and over, I just was playing around with it one day, and they were asking me about my opponent, and I kind of quoted that line without even thinking about it. I'm like, so you think wrestling is your ally? And then it just came to, the guy who filmed the video for me was like, hey, let's take it a step further. You mentioned some things that reference Iowa, your wrestling, and just have with it, man. So kind of me, I was taking a shot at my opponent in a more respectful way than, bashing him personally or anything like that.
Are you a big comic book fan, or is this just something where you decided to use that line because of the guy who came to your gym to speak? Are you a comic book fan at all?
I wouldn't say a comic book fan, but I am a fan of all those, superhero movies and things like that. I'm really in touch with my childhood, man. My DVD collection consists of, childhood favorites and everything like that. So, every kid had, something growing up. So when these movies started to come out again, everybody was really interested in them. So, I watch it on a regular basis. So I think that where that kind of came from.
In that video, I thought you did a very good job with your voice. I really enjoyed that, and I'm just curious, how were you able to make yourself sound like that? Was it something where, post-production, it was, just kind of edited that way? Was it something where the mask, it just kind of, when you talk into it, it makes that kind of sound? Or is it just something that you were doing with your voice? I'm just curious, how were you able to do that and make it sound that way?
Actually, most of my voice. I just kept practicing it over and over and over and trying to hit those high spots and get that tone of voice. The mask kind of helped because it muffled the sound a little bit, so it made it so I had to force the sounds a little bit more. So it sounded a little bit real, and I'm sure Noel added just a little bit of auto tuning to it so it can sound really good. But yeah, I practiced that and rehearsing the lines and everything like that.
Now, in that video, they show a brief clip of you and Ben Askren wrestling, and I noticed when you go in and shoot for a takedown and try to take him down, you don't get the takedown. Why couldn't Ben Askren just play along and you just get a takedown just for the sake of the video? Why did he have to stop your takedown?
That wouldn't have been Ben Askren if he would have let me take him down, man. And that's what makes me a better wrestler. The reason why he stuffs me in the video is because that's who he is as a wrestler and as a person, man. He's never going to let you take him down. He's not the one to, participate in a WWE type wrestling match. He's never going to let you do something that you're not capable of, man. And that's why I respect Ben so much as a teammate and as a person, which in return is just going to make me a better wrestler. Because if I wanted that takedown in the video, I was going to have to fight for it. June 21st when Ben Smith's trying to take me down. I'm going to stuff it, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to get my takedown by fighting for it. So, it's just a real-life experience wrestling with such a guy of that caliber, So that's the reason why he stuffed me in the video, and it's fine. I really wanted the video to capture him just beating me to a pulp when it comes to wrestling, because that's what actually happens, and that's how you get better, is struggling and then having to push through and continue to get better at it.
On June 21st, you're going to be fighting Ben Smith. What are your thoughts about him as an opponent?
I've been really respectful of Ben, and I'm not going to take the personal out and attack him personally, but as a fighter, I think that he's not on my level, to be honest. His record is 6-1. Yeah, that looks pretty on paper, but if you look at the guys he's fought, none of them have a winning record. He's been going around, and his manager has him smashing cans. We call him world beater. He looks like a world beater versus these guys that he's facing, but me, I'm a different caliber of fighter. I'm way better than anyone he's ever faced, and I'm going to be by far his toughest fight. He won't be for me. Brandon Thatch is in the UFC. Two of the guys fighting on the main card, I'm the only guy to defeat those two guys, and everyone I've fought has a winning record. The one guy has a 500 record, but other than that, everyone has a winning record. So I've been tested. I've been in those trenches. I've been in those wars. He's going to decisions with guys with losing records. Those are the guys you have to finish and put away. So I don't think that he's ready for a fighter of my caliber right now in his career, but this will be a learning experience for him like Brandon Thatch was for me. So my goal is to humble him and finish him and let him know that, as you get higher in the fighting game, the fights become real, and you don't get to pick your opponent.
You put out another video. It's just called Mike Biggie Rhodes RFA Promo. It's just, the who, what, when, where, why questions, who you're fighting, where you're fighting, all that good stuff. In that video, you mentioned the holes in Ben Smith's game. What exactly are those holes?
He has a lot of holes, man. If you watch video or any tape on the guy, he doesn't finish submissions. He doesn't really hold positions very well. His striking is, blue belt level at best. If you're going by our listing thing here at Duke Rufus, and his wrestling isn't that good. He doesn't set it up like a lot of wrestlers that are effective in MMA. If you watch him, he goes backwards a lot. He's, he doesn't have the punching and setup to take down, so he takes a lot of shots that are not good ones. They're really telegraphed. So that's why I figure, he's not going to be able to take me down, is because I'll see over half of his takedowns coming. So those are just the little holes in his game that I see and that, I plan to expose.
In that video, you said that you feel that you're better than Ben Smith in every aspect of mixed martial arts. But what are some things that, I don't want to say you need to be worried about, but what are some things that you need to be cautious of and aware of when fighting Ben Smith? Because you don't want to go in there, do something foolish and get caught with something and the fight be over. So what things do you have to be aware of when fighting him?
I'm pretty much prepared for everything. So the only thing I'm really, really concerned with is his wrestling, because, even though he doesn't set it up, he's strong and he's done it his whole life. So, he's going to be good there. And if you overcommit or you're way too aggressive, he can take you down. That is what it is. Anyone can do that if you're over aggressive in a fight. So I just need to stay calm, put my hands on him, and not be over aggressive. And when you're fighting a wrestler or somebody like that, the best thing they can do is come out and surprise you with trying to strike with you, which I won't be worried about for him, but I will be looking for, him coming out trying to feint on his shots and throwing some bombs and things like that. So, I'm ready for everything. I'm not taking him lightly, even though I feel as if I'm better than him. Every time I step in that cage, anybody has a chance to put a punch on that button and put you to sleep or tap you out. It's the fight game. So when I go in there, I'm going to respect him as an opponent and as a fighter, but I'm going in there to finish him, do damage.
This fight is going to be taking place in your hometown. How excited are you to be fighting in your hometown?
And it's going to be great, man, to come out and finally have a fight where when they announce my name, people cheer for me. Even my fights in Milwaukee and then, places, Madison and whatnot, so far, I've still gotten booed, or I've still been fighting in the other guys' hometown. So, this will be the first fight that it will be an outsider outside of here to come in and fight me. So everybody here will be, screaming my name, chanting for me, and that's just a boost of confidence, man. Even though I don't really hear it too much during the fight, before and and after, man, it just feels great to take him all that support and, you know, and have him back.
Now, are there any bragging rights on the line here? Because your opponent is originally from Wisconsin. You're now living in Wisconsin. Is there, you know, any bragging rights on the line in this fight?
I think the only bragging rights that I'm looking forward to in this fight is the win-loss category, man. I want to put a loss on his record, and that's something that I can brag about, and that's something that actually holds weight. You know, me being from Iowa, him being from Wisconsin, now living in Minnesota, I'm living here. You know, it is what it is. If people are saying it's a battle of Wisconsin versus Minnesota, you know, it's a lot of states involved. All I know is that Ben Smith will leave with a loss on his record. You know, that's the bragging rights I want.
With you being originally from Iowa and him being originally from Wisconsin, and now he lives in Minnesota and you live in Wisconsin, so I'm just curious, who has the bigger following?
Oh, I'm sure I do. He's from a small town that even when I mention it to people here in Milwaukee, they're like, "What is that in Wisconsin?" So you know, I'm sure that he'll have some friends and family scattered amongst the crowd. But you know, for a while there, I was the ticket leader in ticket sales, so I'm gonna have a huge base along with all the Rufus Sport fighters that are fighting on it as well. They all know me. They're all gonna cheer for me. So. You know, my crowd is going to drown out his, so, you know, he can bring as many as he wants, but the crowd will be pro-Biggie for this fight.
Now, is this Ben Smith fight at RFA 8, is this, you getting this fight, is this kind of a reward for stepping up on short notice against Brandon Thatch and taking that fight, or is this something where you had a contract with them and this is just the next fight on the deal? Or is it, you know, none of that and it's just your hometown guy and it's a local card, so they put you on there? How did this fight come together?
You know, for stepping up short notice for the RFA, they told me they would look out for me, you know, and the fact that they would give me another fight, another chance in the organization. They liked me as a fighter, and they liked how I promoted the fights and how I stepped up and was a company man, and I wasn't even with the company at that point. Pretty much they decided that they wanted to come here and do a fight card, and the moment they did, they're like, "Hey, we want you on the card," you know, and I think that was just, you know, had to do with, like I just said, my social media, my presence in Wisconsin and in Milwaukee especially. You know, they knew that it was local, I could sell tickets, that I'd be a big draw, and that I'll put on a great fight that's going to be on national TV. And Ben Smith just happened to get the draw to be the opponent.
You mentioned in that RFA 8 promo video that Ben Smith is right now blocking your dreams. You know, you have to get past him to get to your dreams. What are those dreams?
My dream is to be in the UFC, man. Not only to be there, I want to be the champion. I want them to say Mike Biggie Rhodes was one of the best, if not the best, 170-pound fighter to ever fight. Or he was one of the guys that, you know, entertained us the most and was able to win while doing so. I just don't want to be a guy that gets there and gets cut. You know what I mean? I want to retire from the UFC. I want to leave the UFC on my own terms, and I want to be well off when I do. I want to be able to retire and live a happy and full life after MMA, and that's my dream. And you know, like you said, I said it. Ben Smith is in the way of that, so you know, I have no choice but to hurt him in order to get to my dream.
Also in that video, you said that you're looking to steal the show come June 21st. How do you steal the show? How do you defeat Ben Smith at RFA 8?
It's going to be spectacular, man. I'm going to finish him. There will not be a decision. This will not make it to the third round. It just won't. I'm going to stifle his skill set. I'm going to excel in mine. And whether it be a submission, a highlight reel submission, or a highlight reel knockout, Ben Smith will get finished, and you know, it's gonna be the kind of finish that people are like, holy, what just happened? You know what I mean? And the people who are looking down at their phones and, you know, blink their eyes, they probably missed it, but it's gonna be that great, and it's gonna be on national TV, and it's gonna be something that I want to be replayed on, you know, inside MMA. I want it to be that big. I want to have that highlight reel knockout of Ben Smith.
Mike, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Actually, you know, I have a lot of sponsors. They know who they are. They help me out a lot, and you know, I appreciate their support and them helping me out a great deal. They'll be on my shorts and on my banner live on national TV. I don't want to say any and forget any right now because they all are important to me. To my fans and everybody who supports me, June 21st, man, tune in to Access TV or be here at the Rave in Milwaukee live, man. It's going to be a show, and I'm going to get another win. I'm going to be 5-1 after that night with an exciting finish. So keep supporting me. I can always use more supporters and more fans. You guys are what drives me. You're what gets me up in the morning to train as hard as I do, and you're the reason why I try to fight an exciting style and I look for the finish. It's because of you guys. So keep supporting me, and I'm very, very thankful to have you guys backing me.
Mike, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it. Good luck June 21st at RFA 8 against Ben Smith.
Thank you, man. And like I always say, I don't believe in luck, but people are more than welcome to wish it to me. But I've trained past the point of luck, so I'm going to just go get what's mine, and that's victory. So thank you.